Welcome to MCR Medical's Guide to Using the PRESTAN Series 2000 app. This video was made for the second version of the PRESTAN app at Update 1.7. We will be using an iPad in this video, but the PRESTAN app is compatible with most smartphones and tablets. Let's get started. In this video, we will be going over how to download and set up the app to work with Bluetooth, how to configure the app after opening it for the first time, adding a new manikin to the app, how to add manikin identifiers to the newly added manikins, how to configure any given training session, what you should see while administering a live training session, how to review the data after, how to export it, and then how to view past sessions. To download the app, you will first need to go to the App Store. Type in PRESTAN CPR Feedback App or similar search terms and click Download. My app has already been downloaded, so it says Open on my screen instead. Once downloaded, back out of this and you'll need to go to your settings. We need to make sure that our Bluetooth permissions are turned on for the PRESTAN app. Scroll to the bottom of your settings and click on the Apps button. If using a phone, the apps are sometimes just at the bottom of the page without there being a separate folder. Scroll through your apps until you can find the newly downloaded PRESTAN app. Click on it to open the settings and permissions for this specific app. Once open, you will need to look for the Bluetooth and make sure it's turned on. You can now exit out of your settings. You will need to make sure Bluetooth is turned on your device after confirming the app has permission to access Bluetooth. Otherwise, the manikins will be unable to connect. Find the PRESTAN app and open it when you are ready to set up your manikins for use. The first time you open the app, you will need to choose some system preferences. Click Get Started to move forward in this process. Choose your preferred language. I have chosen English. Choose the training guidelines you are working with or are most familiar with. In this case, I have chosen the American Heart Association 2020 guidelines. Select the default number of CPR compression cycles you would like in each training session. Please note that any of these settings can be changed later. I have chosen my default to be 3 compression cycles. Once finished, you will be taken back to the home screen. From here on out, this is the screen that will show when you first open the app. Click on Start a Training Session to set up your manikins and start your first training session. If you have not given the PRESTAN app permission to use Bluetooth on your device, then this message will likely show up. Click OK and move on to connecting the manikins. If a manikin has never been added to this device, your screen will look something like this. Make sure your manikin or manikins are turned on and are within range. Once a new manikin is detected, it will show up on the screen with the manikin size indicated. If more than one manikin is being connected, they will all show up here as they are detected. Click on the manikin or manikins you would like to use for your training session. When you select a manikin, you will have the option to configure it. If using only one, you could skip this step, but we recommend configuring the manikin. Click the Configure button to select Unique Manikin Identifiers. Once you click Configure, you will be taken to this screen. From here, you can select a unique color and number identifier to help you distinguish between the different manikins. If you are unsure of which manikin you are currently configuring, you can click the Find Manikin button. This will have the manikin make a beeping sound, helping you to identify which one you're working on. Your manikins should come with stickers that can be placed on the shoulder or back of the manikins. We recommend using both the color number identifier in the app and the physical stickers on the manikins. This will help you keep track of everything. Once you have a color and number identifier that you like, click Save and Continue. Now that the manikin is configured, click Continue. If you have multiple manikins that will be used at the same time, then select all the manikins you wish to use from the screen and click the Continue button. New manikins will most likely need to be updated to work with the most current version of the app. Click Update and then move on to the next page once it's finished downloading. Once your mannequins are updated, or if they were already up to date, you will be taken to the training session configuration page. Here you can choose if you would like breaths monitored or not, which guidelines your session will follow, how many cycles your students will go through, and whether or not you would like hands-off time recorded. For this example, we will be choosing breath and compressions. The guidelines and cycles will automatically default to whatever you selected during app setup, but you can change it here each time you do a new training session. If you click on guidelines, you will see the same options you had during app setup. In this example, I will continue using the American Heart Association 2020 guidelines. Have 3 cycles total for this training session and choose to record the hands-off time between doing compression and giving breaths. Once everything is set to how you want it, click Begin Session. After clicking Begin Session, this screen will show and will stay up until the first student starts doing compressions. Once compressions have started, this screen will show the live monitoring of what each student is doing. If working with multiple mannequins, you will be able to toggle between the different screens. On the top left, there is a dial that shows the compression rate in real time. If a student is going the correct rate, then the dial will be in between 100 and 120 compressions per minute. In the center of the dial is a count out of 30. Each cycle consists of 30 compressions when following AHA guidelines. The bar on the right shows the compression depth in real time. A depth of 2 to 2.4 inches is considered safe on the adult mannequins. Once a cycle of 30 is done, the student should move on to breaths. 2 breaths should be administered, which will be shown on the bars on the bottom half of the screen. On the adults, a breath volume of 400 to 600 milliliters is recommended. A hands-off time counter will show up in between these 2 bars while breaths are being administered. Let's look at what this screen looks like when a student is working on a mannequin. As compressions are being done, the rate dial moves in real time while the compression depth is recorded after each compression. The student should start administering breaths once they reach 30 compressions as seen here. You can see the breath sensor record the volume administered for each breath, and the hands-off timer start as soon as compressions stop. After the breaths are given, compressions should be resumed until all training cycles are completed. You have the option to pause or end a session early, but once the set number of cycles are completed, the session will end automatically. Once a training session is over, each mannequin will show up here. You can select each one to check the averages for the session. If only one mannequin is being used, this screen may skip straight to the session averages screen. The session averages show the rate accuracy, the depth accuracy, the breath administered volume accuracy, and the hands-off time for each training session. This data shows students what they are doing correctly and what they still need to work on, helping to refine CPR skills over time. Each student's name can be typed in at the end of each session, and the data can be exported from this screen. If you do not want to export the data now, you can do so later from the History tab. Back out of this page to view other mannequins or return to the home screen. If there were multiple mannequins, you could select each one from here to view the session averages. When finished, click the Return Home button at the bottom of the screen. You may now start a new training session if you are ready to do so. If you decide you would like to export previous training session data, you can do so by clicking on the History button to the bottom left. When you click on the History button, you will be able to see previous training sessions. Each session you click on will have all the mannequins' data used in that training session available. Click on the training session you would like to export. The mannequin data from the training session we just did can now be viewed. Click on it to view the data again. You now have the option to export this data by clicking the Export button in the upper right-hand corner. This concludes our guide to using the PRESTAN app. If you have any further questions regarding the PRESTAN app or any of our other products, we can be contacted at the email sales@mcrmedical.com, or you can call us at 614-782-2100. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you for watching.